Welcome to the valley, the old farm, the urban farm. It's a bit of a mouthful going through all those things. I think in future I'll just call it the valley urban farm. So you join us as we're picking up the forage wagon so that we can move on and collect the hay that we didn't collect last night, at the end of last episode, should I say. We're now into day 1 in September, and at this point nothing is being produced. Still busy working away on the first pallets. So in this episode we're going to finish off this collection of this first grass field. We're going to then convert and repurpose this grass field into a normal arable field. We're going to plant some wheat. Stay tuned for a neat little liming find that I made. Found it quite useful actually. But in any case, yeah, stay tuned for that. We're then going to actually do the conversion. We'll direct seed this field. Lime at first, directly seed this field. Man, why can't I talk when I'm doing these things? Yes. Any event, so we'll directly seed this field, and then we'll establish a couple of open gardens down in the bottom area of this field. I'm not sure how many we'll get in there. It'll be somewhere between 1 and 3. And we'll also, I'm just thinking of whether I should do it manually or not. We'll do a soil analysis of this field actually before we start seeding, so that we know if it needs lime. I think I've given it away a little bit. It probably will need lime. I haven't known too many fields not to need lime when you're first working on them. So we'll do the soil analysis, and I think we'll do it manually. We'll lease a analyzing machine, etc. Right, so that's the first batch loaded up, and we'll come and sell it. I'm not expecting too much in the way of income, but I'm hoping for 1,000 or so. Let's have a look and see how much we get. 1,500. And you can see we lost a bit of money because of the environmental effect. So we need to get that field analyzed so we can bring it up to the sort of 50-ish% to start off with. Another nice little field on the left hand side there. So there's quite a few fields that we can expand into as quickly as possible. Get some more urban farming done, maybe some hydroponics. We'll try and find a way to do some fishery as well somewhere along the line, I think, just to more to imitate one of the other sort of urban type of farms that you get these days, which I think is called aquaponics. It's quite interesting. We'll chat about that some other time. And they use the fish to actually fertilize, or to water a hydroponic operation. And of course the added nutrients from the fish, from the fishes living in the aquaponics water, give a lot of added nutrients. Quite an interesting little thing, but I'll chat about some various urban farming methods and such like as we go through the series. Right now, just trying to collect the rest of this grass, get this over and done with, and get this field converted so that we can harvest some straw in the next season and start becoming self-sufficient. So generally speaking, I want to be as self-sufficient as possible. But, on most products, so definitely want to be in a situation where we can produce our own manure for the different ventures that we're going to be doing. And of course we won't be able to produce our own water, but that goes without saying. Eventually maybe fertilizer, we'll look at that. That might be, I don't know. But as long as we try and get to over sort of 50-60% of our inputs, let's shoot higher. Let's say between 60 and 70% of our inputs being self-produced. I think we'll be happy, and the more that we can do, the better. Right, so let's get started on working on this field. So I'm going to get into the little John Deere, and we'll put a hitch on the back, the hitch trailer, and we'll go and pick up the soil scanner. I think we'll just lease it for this period. It's only a small field, it's going to go pretty quickly. I'm thinking that the lease of the scanner is probably going to be the most expensive part of this little operation. There we go. Let's hook that up and just nip up to the shop, which is, as always, nice and convenient. Almost an extension of the farm. Right, so this is the field I was talking about a little in the last episode. Highlighted there, field number 14 or section number 14, whatever you want to call it. It's quite expensive. And that field there, field 19, is a possibility. 123, I think, is also a possibility. 96 I had a quick look at, but it backs up right onto the houses. So I wouldn't want to do any farming activity, but I have a thought about that, which you'll see develop over time. That's something I'm a little bit excited about. Right, so it's 800 odd euros to lease for a very short time. But yeah, we'll just lease this every time we going to do soil analysis. Well, sometimes it gives me the option also to bring the pro labs in to come and do it as well, you know. Down there. No, so this is not going to take too many passes. I've just overlapped the areas on the side just to make sure that they actually, whether they need to be analyzed or not, so that little area at the bottom doesn't need to be analyzed. And yeah, that's all. I think there's probably just the top little corner of there. Right, so we are a combination of sandy loam and loam. Yeah, better than a poke in the eye with a pointed stick. So I'm fairly happy with that. So I think the wheat will grow quite nicely, and we can obviously take the profit of the wheat, and we'll get the straw, which will save us having to buy straw. It'll be interesting to see how much straw we're actually going to need over time, but in any event, we'll see how it goes. Let's get this back to the shop so we don't have to pay for it anymore. So I got a text a little while ago from the local Pigeon racing club, which I found very strange. In any case, apparently there's some very, very valuable pigeons that have escaped from the Pigeon racing club. They're worth each pigeon is worth hundreds of thousands of euros. It's unbelievable. I just can't believe they're worth that much. But these are really, really top pigeons. And apparently 12 of them have escaped. And there's a bit of a reward for if you can recover them. So we'll keep our eyes open for these pigeons, and if we can, we'll help out the pigeon racing club. Be quite interesting. A little bit of a sideline as we go along. Right, so let's look for a direct seeder. I think this one is going to nice and cheap. We'll buy it, and it fertilizes at the same time, which is killing two birds with one stone. But not pigeons. Yeah, dear. Yeah, I shouldn't be laughing at my own jokes. Does that qualify as a dad joke? I'm not sure. In any case, let's buy seed and get those loaded up. Some lime, not lime, some fertilizer. We'll get this down to the field, and then we'll have a quick check on the field and see whether it needs to be limed or not. Pretty sure it's going to be, and then we'll come up and pick up we'll put on the this little John Deere can do some liming and fertilizer spreading. So we will just change the implement. We'll put the lime spreader on the back, and we'll head up back to the store and go and load up some lime. Now I'm going to try something. It'll be interesting. I'm going to hook the trailer up to this and see if I can carry lime to replenish our spreader, just because you know, you do tend to use quite a bit of lime, and hopefully we'll be able to take some spare lime with us. Right, it doesn't load up directly, so we'll have to get the telly truck, one of my new favorite toys. I really do like this. Love it. Let's get that hooked up. So I'm not sure whether this is going to empty into the trailer or whether it's just going to be able to load it up. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's emptying into the trailer. So hopefully, I wonder if it'll auto feed. Oh, we'll try it. We'll keep the trailer on when we're spreading the lime and see if it auto fills. Interesting. A bit excited about finding that out. I'm sure it's been done before by somebody. Let's get back to the farm and see what happens. Yeah, because these are fairly small fields, oh, we need to put some front weights on there. That didn't want to turn. Look at that. Just nicked my brand new plow. Let's go put some front weights on this. Obviously with their trailer, when it's 3 tons this thing's working with at the moment. There's a ton in the back, and yeah, 3,200. Alright, so that's a reasonable width for this type of field. Yeah, there we go. So you can see the actual spreader is empty, but it's been auto-filled from the trailer. Oh, what a bonus. might be able to finish off this whole field without having to go to replenish. And I was thinking that we were going to have to run up and down, or I was hoping we didn't have to run up and down, that we would be able to replenish directly from, but have to manually load up the spreader. But that's fantastic. Made a bit of a faux pas. I don't know if you just caught a glimpse of it there. I thought I would be offload into a big bag or something along those lines, but it actually just tipped out the extra line, so we'll have to get a bucket and load up lime from the floor the next time. So yeah, you win one, well, you win a big one and you lose a little small one, so we can't complain. Seeder working nicely. I don't think this is going to use anywhere near the supplies that we have of seed and fertilizer. And we are playing with weeds on, so we will have to weed in the first or second stage to get the full benefit. We might have to I can't remember whether, I think I put the sensors on this tractor. You do get the precision farming sensors are able to be fitted on this tractor, and I hope I did that when I bought it, or well, when it was bought for the farm, when we were setting up. Can't remember, yeah. In the event, we'll wait and see when we deal with the weeds, probably next month or so. This is working fairly efficiently, nice and quickly. 6 meter spread. The tractor is handling fairly nicely. It's one good thing about electrical motors, fairly good torque. And just about finished. We'll just try and get all these little bits and pieces, make sure we get the field pretty well covered. And I think we'll park these down here, our living accommodation. There we go. There's our trusty Winnebago that we're living in at the moment. Right, so let's get started, and we'll put in some open air gardens. Yeah, I've got to allow for enough space because of the deal that we have with the animal dealer, that we have to allow access to, not just to ourselves but also to his customers. So we'll eventually put a road in at the back and a little loop around so that people can come in and collect manure from the silo there. So we're going to there we go again, tongue-tied. We're going to produce potatoes, and the idea would be to supply the chip factory with potatoes. So this is obviously slightly different to the gardens that we have at the top of the field. This requires water, and then you can do manure or fertilizer. So we'll do manure on these, and we need to supply it with seed as well. So we'll have to go and get some seed from, stock up with seed. So we won't fill it up with seed at this stage. When your funds are a little bit low, we're down to 4,000 euros in the bank at the moment. Let's put in as much manure as possible, and manure is relatively cheap, so we'll put in a full truckload, 12,000 litres of manure into each of the gardens. And I'm sure people watching this would have utilised these gardens before. They're pretty efficient, they produce at a reasonable rate, nothing out of the ordinary, but yeah, I don't want to, well, I don't know whether I'll be able to help myself, but I don't want to put in the super fast producing gardens, because we need to try and keep it, well, semi-realistic. It's never going to be absolutely realistic. Right, so we're going to get some seed. I think we'll take 4 bags of seed, and we'll just get this trailer converted to be able to carry the seed. Remember those pigeons? I was driving past this area and I heard all this cooing, and there, I'm hoping there's one sitting on the rafters. And the only way I can get it, now they are pretty tame, so they will allow you to just gently handle them. And there we've got it. And got the people from the Pigeon Racing Club here as well, and they've taken it away, and yeah, they've paid me a reward, 50,000 euros. Can you believe it, man? And about as timely as this can be. We were really running low, and might even be able to start thinking about getting some more fields in the near future now. Right, I'm going to test this. Let's test this. Right, wonder if it'll pick up all 4. Here we go. We're going to give it a try. Let's get it aligned. Yeah. Worked so easily the last time. Overconfident this time. And so, you know why? It's because you're not lined up properly. Get straight on. There we go. Let's try now. Yeah, easily. So, picks all 4 up. More and more impressed. But look at the front wheels. You're taking some flack. Oh man. Oh dear. Well, we don't have to travel too far. I don't know. I know what everybody's thinking. It's not your machine, so you don't have to worry about it. Well, I was thinking about that. But yeah, oh, I love that effect. Perfect, perfect. Right, so we're down at the bottom here, so we'll just have to try and divide this between the 2 areas, so we just have to be... Yeah, there we go. It's taken a bit. I'll put the rest in here. It's not going to be an even spread, so we'll have to look at everything. Yeah, so that's got 2,000 odd in of the 4,000, so 1,300-ish in the other. Right, so let's get this activated. So we'll do potatoes with seeds and manure. There we go. We'll do that in both of those. So we will do some other productions as well of these. We'll have a couple of these dotted around wherever we can. I also want to do some sunflowers so that we can get supply the chip factory with oil as well. Might not be supplying all of them, but these are all different income streams that we have to look at, you know. Right, so that's where we're going to wind down this episode. I have taken on a grass cutting contract I won't show you a lot of it, but I thought just as we were winding down I would take you on a little scenic drive up to the field that we're going to be cutting and producing silage. We'll bring in a little bit of extra income, and hopefully we'll be able to buy one of our extra fields in the next episode. Yes, holding thumbs. So thank you so much for watching. As usual, please like and subscribe if you're enjoying this series. It does help me out. And we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you once again, and cheerio.